Hey everyone, this is Stephen Strong of the Cast Iron Connection, where it's my goal to put out videos to help enthusiasts to better collect, restore, and use their cast iron cookware. If you've ever wondered if you can use cast iron cookware on a glass stovetop, your answer is coming right up. If you've ever asked the question, can I use cast iron cookware on a glass stovetop? The answer is yes. But there are a few things that you need to know first. Whether you're cooking on a glass stovetop, or gas, or electric range, or even on a fire, there's a few things that you need to know about using cast iron cookware that will help you maintain your cast iron cookware, also make sure that it's not damaged, and that it can be used for years to come. Cast iron is a great producer of heat once it gets heated up. Now you can pick up a piece of cast iron cookware, and there's a pretty piece right here. It's a number 8 Birmingham Stove and Range Century Series skillet, and it's just right for a cooktop. The cooktop, whether you have electric range or glass top or even gas, your eye is only so large. Now, if you have a large piece like this Birmingham Stove and Range number 14, when you first start heating it up, the heat is going to come in right at the bottom. The problem with that is the cast iron is cold to the touch until you start heating it up. And when it starts heating up in the center and not on the edges right away, we have to be careful not to put too much heat on it to start with. So we will start it on low, especially the larger the pan. If you have a small pan like a number 5 or a number 3 or even a number 7, it's less of a problem, but you still want to preheat your cast iron. Say you have a number 8 cast iron skillet. You want to start it on low to medium to begin with. You want to start it on the lower temperatures until you feel the heat coming up around the sides. You can take your hands and feel before it gets too hot and you're not going to get burned. And also when you start feeling the heat coming up the handle, then you know you're ready to bring up the heat a little more. So we're going to start off on low till we get it up to temperature, and then we're going to raise the temperature to where we need it at. One thing about a glass stovetop is you don't want to be sliding your cast iron cookware because you can scratch it, and eventually it'll get to where you can't keep it clean. I have restored about maybe 200 or so pieces of cast iron cookware since I started collecting, and I've used the same glass stovetop from the whole process. So it's time for us to upgrade to gas. Now gas is probably the best way to go. You may be in a rental home, you may be on a tight budget like I am. I would like to have a gas range right now, but it's going to have to wait. It's not in the budget yet. One thing that you have to be careful of, cast iron is heavy and you can drop it, especially something like this big number 14 Birmingham Stove and Range. Like I said before, when you heat it up slow because it takes forever for this big boy to heat up. But on an electric stovetop, a coil top or a glass top, either one, your heat is going to be radiating right around the center of your pan, so the sides are not going to be receiving the heat like you would like for it to, where a number 8 is going to receive heat a lot better. A lot of times I'll break it down into 2 number 8s and I'll cook, say, scrambled eggs. I'll go ahead and do scrambled eggs on 2 different stove eyes. That way I can ensure that my heat distribution is going to be even. Now sometimes I got this number 10 Wagner, which is a beautiful piece with the drip top lid. It's great for cooking fried potatoes and onions. You cut your potatoes up, put them in there, cut your onions up, put your salt and pepper and whatever season you want to do, and you can in your oil, and you can put this on the stovetop and slowly bring it up to temperature until the whole thing is starting to feel warm, till the lid starts getting hot. Then you can crank the temperature on up a little more, but don't do it all at once because you want to take care of your cast iron cookware, and that will work. You can also take your cast iron cookware and put it in the oven with a lid on it like that, and it'll cook more evenly. One thing I love about cast iron cookware is because the whole thing is iron. You don't have to worry about melting a plastic handle or burning a wooden handle. You can stick the whole thing in there and you don't have a problem with it. But so far I have had no cracks on our glass stovetop. I have one little tiny chip on the front edge of the enamel where I let a pan slip. So that's the only trouble I've ever had really out of my glass stovetop. So let's take a look at our stove. Like I said, it's had a lot of hours of cast iron cookware, so it has aged. In about 3 years, it's like a 10-year-old stove. So let's take a look at it. Here's our glass stovetop, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of scratching and things like that. Now, bear in mind, I have used this stove to season and cook with probably 200 pieces of cast iron cookware. So it's going to have a lot of wear and tear. I've dropped many pieces on our cooktop and never had even the slightest crack. You may bang on it with a hammer and everything else and not even crack it, but just tap it just a little bit on the corner and it could shatter into a million pieces. So you still got to be careful. It's not indestructible, but it is pretty tough. Right here is where I dropped a piece of cast iron, and that's the only damage that I've really suffered except for just the wear and tear of the cooktop itself. Now we have this product here that I use. It's called a Preheat Cooktop Cleaner, and I don't use it very often, I guess you can tell, but you just squirt it all on there, and after you get it all squirted on there and let it sit a few minutes, then you go back with the scrapers and you just go to town, and there's some right there that needs to come off. It needs a cleaning right now, but there you go. That's like a seasoning on your cooktop. So you got a big piece of cast iron like this big number 14. Like I said, you only have so much radiation coming from your cooktop, and you see that skillet is way too big for it. You can cook on it, but you need to cook it on low and not crank the heat up on high, because you can warp this beautiful cast iron pan if you're not careful. So I personally would rather use smaller pieces like this little griddle, and it's the perfect size for this. This is a number 9, so this is perfect for this larger eye, or a number 8, which is perfect for this size eye, so it will heat up evenly and then it will radiate well. So that makes a big difference. So when you're using a number 8 like this one right here, it's a good size for it. Your heat ring is about the same size as your eye, maybe just a little bit smaller, and your heat will radiate beginning at the center and it'll work its way up the sides. So you want to put it on low to begin with, and after it sit there for a few minutes, you can kind of touch and feel, if it's hot. If it starts getting warm to where you can't hardly touch it anymore, and you start feeling the heat come up the handle, then you can bring the heat on up a little bit. But yes, you can use cast iron cookware on a glass stovetop. So like I said before to the question, can I use a glass stovetop to cook with my cast iron cookware? That is going to be a yes. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you have, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll keep on coming. And also don't forget, if you have any questions or ideas for other videos that you would like to see me produce, please leave it in the comments, and I'll do my very best to answer questions that you have, and also try to put out the kind of content that you're asking for. So thanks again at the Cast Iron Connection. This is Stephen Strong, signing out.